In Italy, during World War II, it was occupied by the Nazis. There was an order of priests called Sons of Divine Providence, the Don Orione Fathers, and there was a Jewish sculptor there. And that man went to the Don Orione Fathers and said, "Would you hide me?" And they took him in. They dressed him as a priest and they hid him. The Nazis left, the war was over, and the Jewish sculptor was saved. So he wanted to do a thank you. And they asked him, "Would you make a statue of the Madonna for us?" So he said yes. They had started to study the Shroud of Turin back then. It was a very pale white cloth, and it is supposed to be the image of Jesus left on the cloth. When they studied the image, they took a photo of it, and the photo negative revealed almost a perfect black and white image of Jesus. The sculptor looked at the shroud, and he took the face off of the shroud, thinking that all kids look a little like their parents. So he took the face of the shroud and he feminized it. And that's where he came up with the face for the Madonna outside. And that's kind of important, because if the shroud really is Christ's burial cloth, then that statue outside of Mary's the closest thing on earth to what she probably looked like. In the 50s, the Archdiocese of Boston and the Don Orione Fathers asked the sculptor, can we get one for Boston? And lo and behold, a statue was made. It came here in 1954, and it was put across the street in front of the Don Orione nursing home. It sat there until they built this whole shrine for that statue. The only reason people come up here finally was because of that billboard on the highway. And what happens with every one of them is they pull up in their cars and they see the statue, and then they see the planes landing. And they realize that they can walk and go over and see the airport. And I've said, is this your first time here? And they all say, yeah. I go, you know, you're standing on a church on top of a beautiful hidden gem in East Boston? And they're like, no. And then I tell them the story of what I just told you, and they were in awe. It should be known out there about the history of the statue. So when you come here to East Boston to see this beautiful church and to see that statue, know that that statue was made by a Jewish sculptor who was saved from the Nazis during World War II by the Don Orione Fathers. And I think if more people knew that, they'd have a little more interest in that statue, because it has history.